In this video, we'll talk about one of the biggest new developments the city of Healdsburg has ever seen. Did you know Healdsburg is getting a new high-end hotel, new hotel promenade, a new housing subdivision, and a new Buddhist-inspired senior living community? You've probably heard of Montage with its hotel, spa and residences, and you've probably heard of Mill Districts, the new apartments and hotel in downtown. But these pale into insignificance compared to the scale of the newest development, which is Healdsburg's North Village, at the north end of Healdsburg Avenue. We're coming off the back of an incredibly wet winter, which makes talk of water shortages seem a long time ago. But can Healdsburg's infrastructure, including water, as well as roads, really support such a huge new development? Well, if you watch the end of this video, you'll find out exactly what Healdsburg North Village is, why it will be home to 27 monks from San Francisco, and what new homes will be for sale, as well as learn about how the city's infrastructure is being upgraded to keep pace with this development. So my name is David Hargreaves, one half of the Brewington Hargreaves team, which is one of the top 1% of teams in Sonoma County. As well as serving Healdsburg, we cover Windsor, Santa Rosa, Sebastopol, Sonoma City and beyond. And if you do want to get the latest news on new developments in real estate, then do sign up for our newsletter where we cover a range of topics from, building an ADU to how to get the most for selling your home. So let's talk about this new development. If you have recently driven out of town on Healdsburg Avenue, just before you get to the entrance of Montage, you'll see a huge new development being built on the left-hand side between the road and the freeway. It's probably hard to believe, but the entire site is 32 acres and will feature a 108-room hotel and restaurant called Appellation Healdsburg. It'll also feature Enso Village, a senior living facility, as well as Boxheart Commons, which will include a retail promenade, a public event space, and a mixture of low-income and middle-income housing. So let's start off talking about Enso Village, the senior living facility, because if you do drive past today, the structures that you see rising up out of the ground are Enso Village. So what exactly is it? It's a senior living facility which comprises 221 independent units, as well as 27 low-income units specifically for Zen teachers, and 54 assisted living and memory care units. And it's been developed as a partnership between San Francisco Zen Center and also Kendall Corporation. It is an interesting partnership because the San Francisco Zen Center is one of the largest residential training solo Zen Buddhist organizations outside of Asia. And then Kendall Corporation, on the other hand, is an organization that runs not-for-profit senior living communities founded on Quaker principles. And it has a self-described mission of transforming the experience of aging. I mean, what that means in practice it's hard to say. And given Enso Village combines both Buddhist and Quaker principles, it's probably even harder to describe what the experience will be like for those who decide to join Enso Village. I've actually got a number of clients who are potentially moving to Enso Village, and in talking with them, it seems there's definitely some trepidation really trying to imagine what it would be like to live there. And I don't think any of them will really know until they actually get there. It's a big decision for a lot of people because a lot of people will need to sell their house to move there, and yet you don't actually buy the real estate in Enso Village. There are a variety of contracts available which vary based on how much of your initial entrance fee you get back on death. There are some contracts which are 90%, 80%, 50%, and then there are some which are 0% refundable upon death. So for most people, the actual entrance fee will be over $1 million. In addition to that, there'll be a monthly service fee, which is an inclusive charge that includes everything from, your meals, all the maintenance, utilities, concierge services, activities and events, and there's even wellness programs and scheduled transportation included within that fee. But the monthly fee is going to be, approximately $5,000 per month, although as I understand it, this amount isn't sort of set in stone just yet. And Enso Village has, it's got a number of restaurants, and the actual restaurants are being developed in collaboration with the vegetarian restaurant Greens in San Francisco's Fort Mason Center. While the main bistro dining venue will be modeled after Greens and only serve vegetarian food, other dining rooms will have a range of meal options, including both meat and fish. So, it's not all vegetarian. But it's hard to believe as you drive past, but there'll be 140 people moving into Enso Village in the September to December timeframe. So I'll be interested to hear what it's like for those people moving in, and I'll definitely see if I can interview one of those residents in a coming video. So that's the senior living community, but what about the hotel? Well, Appellation Healdsburg is being developed as part of Charlie Palmer's Appellation Hotel Group, which has got various different hotels. You know, it's got one in Pacific Grove, it's got another one in Sun Valley, and it's currently in the process of actually developing a 93-room hotel in downtown Petaluma, which, you know, having looked at all those plans, it does look a very cool place. But Appellation Healdsburg is going to be a 108-room hotel with nearly 5,000 square feet of restaurant and bar space, which will seat, you know, 160 people across its restaurant, lobby bar and rooftop bar, all of which will feature Charlie Palmer cuisine. While I've not seen specific plans for the hotel, I understand that most of the rooms will have balconies and living spaces which will connect to the outdoors with the indoors via, you know, slidable walls, which does sound pretty cool. In addition to the restaurant space, there are going to be extensive event spaces for everything from private dinners for 20 people on the orchard table, which is under a grove of ancient olive trees, to the Grange Hall, which will be able to cater for 300 people for weddings and parties. And there's also going to be an event lawn that can host a wedding for 500 people. Well, hopefully by the time this is built, and given the city's water shortage, they'll have come up with a more sustainable solution than an actual grass lawn for this event space, but let's see. And not to be done by Montage, Appellation Healdsburg will also have a spa complete with outdoor swimming pools and exclusive day-use cabanas, which according to the literature will be both for hotel guests and for locals, so that could be interesting. The final part of the development is what is called Boxheart Commons, which is being described as an extension of downtown, which will include retail, public spaces and small business units, as well as additional housing for both low-income and middle-income families. And this development is all being built and designed by Comstock. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch to call it an extension of downtown, given it's over 2 miles away from the plaza, but maybe it's going to be more like, you know, downtown 2. That being said, there are going to be some major improvements on Healdsburg Avenue, which will definitely connect this part of town to the downtown, which I'll talk about in a moment. And it will also be a great addition to the north end of town, having a retail promenade with pedestrian-only walkways, as well as having retail spaces, which will likely include, you know, a deli-style market and cafes and maybe a coffee shop. Not only will these amenities be useful for guests at the hotel, but also be great for residents living in either the new housing or Enso Village itself. And above the retail units, there'll be 53 apartments, which will be a combination of 40 very low and income workforce units, and then 13 moderate rental income units, along with a place for a live-in manager. The exact nature of this development at the time of recording this was still going through the planning commission, so definitely the more will emerge as things get fleshed out. In addition to the homes highlighted above, there's also going to be 24 units for sale, which will be built in the back northwest corner of the development, tucked behind the Appellation Healdsburg Hotel. These townhomes will range in size between 1,200 square feet and 1,700 square feet, and will be a mixture of 2 and 3 bedroom units. So while the prices are not yet known, if they are for housing for middle income homes, defined as people making roughly 160% of the median salary, they'll likely be selling for over $1 million by the time they come to market. The main developer of the site is Comstock Homes, which was founded by Healdsburg resident Bob Comstock, who's built thousands of homes across California, including, you know, the Sorrento Square neighborhood in Healdsburg. And as part of the development agreement, Comstock will have to pay up to $2 million towards a fire department substation estimated to cost $7 million, which will be located right by the North Village. Another important component of this whole development plan for the North Village, which, you know, while related is not codependent, is the development of Healdsburg Avenue, all the way from Powell Avenue up to the North Village and the Montage entrance. The goal of this $11.8 million development project is to transform Healdsburg Avenue into a street that will encourage cycling and walking from downtown to the North Village, and also beyond to the proposed new park north of Parkland Farms, which is currently called Saggio Hills. In addition to this, North Village will also be connected to the Foss Creek Trail and Bike system that will further improve the experience of getting to North Village from downtown. And this will make a big difference to the northern entry/exit into Healdsburg, which will definitely be for the benefit of the entire town. As somebody who regularly cycles out of town on Healdsburg Avenue, it's definitely a much welcome improvement. So does Healdsburg really need this new development? Well, the answer is probably not, but then that doesn't mean it won't end up being a great addition to the city. The biggest criticism was the addition of another high-end hotel and spa that, isn't primarily for the benefit of residents. And I also heard people criticising, the increased pressure this project will put on the city's services, whether it's roads, amenities, and other basic utilities such as water. And if we think about it, if there are over 300 new housing units, this development could increase the population by as much as 5%. That being said, having another downtown destination with shops, restaurants, cafes, and even event space gives existing residents some new and different options, which is definitely exciting in its own right. So I'm not quite ready for moving into an assisted living facility just yet, but hey, one day I might be really glad of it. So if you did enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe to get other videos like this. If you want to know more about what it's like to live in Healdsburg, or get information about other new developments such as Mill District or Montage, please do check out some of my other videos. Until the next video, go well.